Hello everyone! Today's video is just a casual blog. It's already September, time flies. Since I moved from Hawaii to Georgia last winter, this is my first September spent on the mainland US. The mornings and evenings are cool, and I'm surprised at how autumnal it feels already. Yes, I moved to Georgia last winter. One of my dreams has always been to drive across the United States, but I've always been too timid to actually do it. When I decided to move from Hawaii to Georgia, I thought this is the perfect opportunity. Instead of shipping my car directly to Georgia, I had it sent by boat to California. Then I flew there, picked it up, and drove it myself all the way to Georgia. People around me were so worried, so I planned to do it quietly on my own, but my son ended up joining me. I was born in Japan and raised by strict parents who always told me not to drive because it would be disastrous if I got into an accident. So I didn't get my license until I was in my 30s after moving to the US. Then I had a long break from driving and got my license again in my 40s. Because of that, I've always had this fear of driving, so much so that my foot would tremble when I pressed the gas pedal. Even though I wanted to drive across the United States, I kept telling myself things like, if I were a man, I would have done it, or I wish I had done it when I was younger. I was limiting myself. But now, in my late 50s, I finally did it, and it turned out to be surprisingly easy. It made me rethink what I had been so afraid of. My mindset shifted a bit. My cross-country drive ended in Georgia, but since then I've taken solo drives to places like North Carolina and South Carolina, so now I consider the journey complete. This time I went to North Carolina. It's a mountainous area with lots of hairpin curves. Apparently, a hurricane last fall knocked down many trees and caused closures, but everything is well maintained now. I usually drive about 200 miles, around 320 kilometers, so whenever I find a gas station, I make sure to use the restroom and refuel. Unlike city gas stations, the restrooms are always clean and welcoming, which is a big help. For refueling, I always use a free app called Upside, which gives you cashback on discounted gas. I've talked about in my YouTube videos and blog, and the link is in the description box below. If you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend it. There is a referral bonus too. I love the countryside, so seeing these kinds of views really puts me at ease. My main goal this time was to visit the waterfall in North Carolina, where The Last of the Mohicans was filmed. The movie came out in 1992, the same year I was disowned by my parents and moved to Hawaii. It was before my son was born. Time really flies. I remember being moved by the line, "I will find you." Here's the waterfall. It took about 40 minutes of hiking to get there. It was my second visit, but this time there were no crowds, so I got a beautiful shot. While driving, I stopped at the tiny coffee shop, grabbed a cafe latte and donuts to satisfy my hunger, and visited a small town. I also painted at the art studio. The left one is pastel and the right is watercolor. I'm not very skilled, but I'd love to make painting my retirement hobby. At night, I had a light meal at the cute restaurant, stayed overnight, then headed home. Traffic in Georgia is pretty notorious, but Hawaii's traffic is intense too, so I wasn't too surprised. I was tired, but once I got home, I updated my blog with September saving account interest rates from the US banks, as well as the city certified of deposit rates. USPS shipping rates haven't changed, but Yamato's parcel rates to Japan have gone up slightly. However, fuel surcharges are now included, so I updated those figures on the blog too. That's it for my today's September blog. I just checked the Japan Post website to see if they've resumed accepting parcels to the US that were previously suspended, but it looks like they haven't yet. With rising tariffs, pricing may go up again. I'll continue posting videos with tips on saving money and more. Thanks for sticking with me through this blog style update. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!